Good evening. Here is a video on how to build emotional resilience if you're dealing with stress from dealing with a court case, for example.
Alright, so first thing is to understand your triggers. For example, words or tone of voice can set your triggers off. Okay, so here's the pause method I learned from Dr. Tracy Marks. The P is for pause and notice. So if you get triggered, you can start to notice perhaps your heart beating faster or you're getting hot. A stands for acknowledging the emotion. So this can be you saying, I am angry. The U stands for understanding the trigger. So this can be from past experiences, perhaps trauma that is really underneath the iceberg. And because anger is usually at the top of the iceberg, but it's not the reason why you're angry. There's usually a deeper reason behind that. So that's what the U stands for. All right, the S stands for selecting a response. And there's a great quote by my buddy Richard Grove that fits into this. And the quote is, in between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space, you have the ability to think. And that ability to think, you have the ability to retain freedom. And I want to say this quote came from Viktor Frankl, but Richard Grove added his spin to it. In any case, still, there is a space between stimulus and response, and you can respond thoughtfully. And this is where you gain emotional resilience. Okay, the E is for engage mindfully, and this just means be mindful of your actions, how you respond, and as long as you do that, you will start to respond more thoughtfully and considerate, respectful, and not reactive and say harsh. Another good thing to do is to practice gratefulness. And apparently, there's been a study that showed people who practice gratitude were less depressed, worked out more, and made more progress towards personal goals. I found this from the video How to Boost Emotional Resilience by Mark Tyrell, if you want to look in deeper to that. But I also learned that they showed a more immune function and less physical illness. And I just want to also recommend to prioritize your sleep, your exercise, and your nutrition. Those are vital in your emotional regulation and resilience. And yeah, the imagination is really important to help you lower stress levels. So, with the gratitude practice, you're imagining what you're grateful for, and you can also use the imagination to picture what would it be like if you didn't have the things that you have now. For example, a bed or maybe food or friends, and then that will make you recognize that you do have those things and you can experience some gratefulness. And just know that self-care is not selfish. You have to take care of yourself first before you can help others. That is the truth. And just one last thing is I kept hearing people talk about breathing, breath work, and one of my favorite breath work techniques is the box breathing. So it goes like this. You breathe in for 4 seconds. So say you inhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 4 seconds, and then you retain that for 4 seconds, and then you repeat. So that's all I wanted to say. Hope this helps, and you have a great night.